Maple bourbon stuffed pork loin on the rotisserie. Y'all are never gonna guess who loves a BOGO deal and pork loin. This guy. For those unaware, this is the pork loin. This is like the ribeye of the pork. If you were to cut this bad boy into steaks, you'd have pork chops, but all together like this, it is the pork loin. A little bit of butchery knowledge dropping on you there. This is a gorgeous looking piece of meat. Always gotta get some shots in there for the cover. You never know. Now the plan today is to butterfly this open. There's nothing better than a stuffed pork chop. But as this is not a chop, we cannot stuff the chops. So we're going to butterfly it open, stuff it with a bunch of great stuff. I don't know, got a bunch of stuff in the fridge. We'll see what happens. Now using a really large knife can be helpful here. If you don't have a slicer like this, a chef's knife will do. Now the goal is to get this all flattened out with a very uniform thickness to it. We want to end with this fat cap on the outside, so we're going to start just behind the fat cap. Got a nice slice going there, and we're just going to continue that and keep unfolding. There's the first cut. Now we go in and make another one. Don't be afraid to spin your board around. Make it easy on yourself. Like I said, the goal is to get this nice and uniform all the way through, so at the end we have a nice spiral. Let's get some flavor on this thing. We've got some seasoning. Reload Rub Double Action. This is by far one of my favorite seasonings, especially when it comes to pork. It is smoky, it is sweet, it has all the great flavor notes. We're gonna do a nice base layer, a heavy coat of this on there. This is a very big piece of meat, so we wanna make sure we don't under season it. Shake it, shake it. Let's see what else we can stuff in here.
As is the cornerstone of every great recipe, we cheese. We start with the cheese, we cut the cheese, and we end with the cheese. About half a pound of gouda. Gouda and pork are a goated combo, and if you've got the time, freshly shredded is always preferred. But obviously milk your own cow and age your cheese in your own personal cheese cave. That step cannot be skipped. Spread evenly over our pork loin. Man, this really looks like a pork belly from this view. Just keep it even. Quality distribution. Make the warehouse of a mid-sized paper company proud.
I mean, should we even add bacon? I feel like it's so overdone. Pro tip of the day, don't throw this away. This is beautifully rendered lard. They charge a lot of money for this. Filter it through like a paper towel into a jar, put it in the fridge, and you've got some awesome lard, rendered bacon lard you can use for all sort of cooks. Liquid gold right there, guys.
Distribution, hombre, that's the name of the game. Y'all know what's up. Keeping it even, I'm gonna go heavy with the bacon and cheese on this one, but feel free to go ham. Get it? It's a pun. The most intellectual form of humor. Rolling up this loin, just keep it tight. That's the best thing you can do. And remember to finish with that fat cap on the outside. We want that to render nicely during the cook. Trussing, it's pretty straightforward. Just cut some butcher's twine and tie. I start with the ends first so nothing gets squeezed out as you're tightening down that twine. Then the middle. For the knot, I double tie and cut off the excess. Couldn't be any simpler. Well, until they invent Velcro butcher's twine, because people forget how to tie their shoes anymore. But hey, we're not there yet.
I feel like a hobo with like a bindle of meat. When I have a large, just gorgeous cut of meat like this, I can't not put it on the rotisserie. Y'all feel me? That is my pro-tisserie move of the day right there. Season it on the rotisserie, that way you don't have to spin it yourself. Work smarter, not harder. Also, definitely use you one of these wireless meat thermometers. These things are amazing, and it's really, when you're doing a rotisserie, it's the only thing you can use. I don't know if you're aware of the science behind this, but if this thing had like a cord to it, it would just wrap around. So, you know, just a little tip there. Looks like a good spot. There we go. Now y'all didn't think that was it, right? We're gonna whip up a little maple bourbon glaze. All the ingredients into a pot together. We're gonna do about 2 ounces of bourbon. This is 2 ounces, yeah, 2 ounces of bourbon. And today we've got some Bardstown bourbon. This is bourbon that was finished in plantation rum barrels. So gonna be nice and tasty, maybe a little spicy. And then about an equal amount of maple syrup. This one I'm just gonna kind of eyeball. If there's too much maple syrup, that is a burden I am willing to bear. Half a dozen dashes of some W sauce, just to give it a little kick. Then for seasoning, I'm gonna do about a table-ish spoon of salt, pepper, garlic. Nice. We're gonna mix this up a little bit and get it onto the grill. Much like my wife, this thing is a smoke show. We've got about 15 or so degrees left in this cook, so we are going to paint on this maple bourbon glaze. The goal is to use all of it during these last little bit here. Finished temp for a cook like this, pork, we're gonna do about 145 internal, give it a nice little rest, slice her up. It's a thing of beauty. So funny story, not a laugh with me, but more of a laugh at me story. I was pouring the charcoal in earlier, right when I was starting to cook, and I noticed there was a rock in there. I was like, oh, I must have just poured that in. Let me touch the rock real quick, which finding a rock, it is what it is. Like, I probably go through 40, 50 bags of charcoal a year, so finding a rock, not a big deal. I go to pull it out, and I'm like, it's probably not hot. I just poured that in there, no big deal. Let me touch it real quick and see if it's hot or not. And I decided to use my thumb to touch it. You can see I got a big old blister on my thumb there. I thought the best way to test if that rock was hot or not was to press my thumb into it. So I get to have a blister on the tip of my thumb for the next week or so. But hey, you know what they say. You can be as dumb as you want, as long as you're tough. We have reached our finished temp here, 145 degrees internal. So we're gonna get this guy off the rotisserie, let it rest for a little bit, and see how we did. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. There's a little lock over here on this side to keep it from coming off the track. She is a beaut. Yeah, baby. A nice 20 to 30 minute rest is all this needs. It's a big chunk of meat, but not too big. What I like to do is I leave my internal probe, my meat temperature thermometer in the meat. That way I can monitor what's going on inside during the rest. After the cook, it's gonna spike up a little bit and then it's gonna come back down. So as long as it stays above 140, that's the danger zone for bacteria, 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So as long as you're above 140, perfectly safe. Let those juices redistribute, slice it up, and my goodness, this thing is gorgeous. It smells like heaven in here. Let's give it a little try. As a reminder, we got a bacon and gouda stuffed pork loin, maple bourbon glaze, smoky and sweet seasoning. Let's do it. Y'all, that is ridiculously good. Highly recommend, give it a shot. Even if you're just using regular pork chops, cut a little hole in them, slice them up, stuff them full. A stuffed pork chop is always a winner. I mean, and with that glaze, whew. Now, if you like what you've seen on this video, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Let's make some more videos. Let's make it happen. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next one.